If you want to know what forces in India look like, then you have landed to the right video. Today we will break down the types of forces in India. We first make a border division of Indian Armed Forces, Paramilitary Forces, Central Armed Police Forces, Special Protection Group, Local State Police Forces. The Indian Armed Forces consist of three key divisions: the Indian Army, the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force. Let's explore their primary roles. Indian Army. The Indian Army's foremost responsibility is to safeguard our nation's security and shield from both external and internal threats while ensuring peace within our borders and aiding in natural disaster rescue operations by providing humanitarian support during calamities, countering internal threats like proxy wars, and assisting the government when called upon. Next, Indian Air Force. Shifting our focus to the Indian Air Force, the primary duty is to defend our airspace against air threats. They also provide crucial air support to the Indian Army during battlefield operations and assist in managing natural disasters and internal disturbances. Indian Navy. Now let's sail into the realm of the Indian Navy. Their primary mission is to protect India's maritime borders, collaborating with other armed forces branches to deter threats. They also ensure the safety and security of our citizens, shipping, fishing, trade, energy supply, assets and resources in the maritime domain. These three come under direct control of Government of India, Ministry of Defence. Turning our attention to paramilitary forces in India, it's important to note that the term paramilitary forces is not clearly defined in India. A paramilitary force is a semi-militarized force with an organizational structure, training and in some cases, functions similar to professional military forces. However, they are not considered a formal part of country's armed forces. Paramilitary forces are not military forces in terms of training and organizational structure. Speaking specifically about Indian Armed Paramilitary Forces, these are organizational that closely assist the Indian Armed Forces and they are headed by officers from the Indian Army or Indian Navy. They too come under direct control of Government of India but governed partially under Military of Home Affairs and partially under Military of Defence. Indian government laws or rules do not officially define or mention a list of Indian paramilitary forces. However, till 2011, the term paramilitary was used to refer to 8 forces: Assam Rifles, Special Frontier Force, Indian Coast Guard, Central Reserve Police Force, Border Security Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, Central Industrial Security Force, Sashastra Seema Bal. Additionally, some people also considered the RPF, that is Railway Protection Force, SPG, that is Special Protection Group, and NSG, that is National Security Guards, as part of the paramilitary forces. In 2011, the government divided these forces into two groups: CRPF, BSF, ITBP, CISF, and SSB were categorized as CAPF, that is Central Armed Police Forces. On the other hand, Assam Rifles, Special Frontier Force and the Indian Coast Guard could be considered as the current paramilitary forces of India. Despite the well-defined term CAPF, the term paramilitary forces remains undefined, leaving room for debate on whether units like NSG and SPG should be included. Now let's take a look at the Indian paramilitary forces one by one. Assam Rifles. Assam Rifles are often referred to as the Friends of the Hill People and the Sentinels of the Northeast. India's oldest paramilitary force responsible for ensuring internal security under the control of the army by conducting counter-insurgency operations and border security operations. They also assist civilians during emergencies and ensure the security of the Indo-China and Indo-Myanmar borders. The Assam Rifles is the only paramilitary force that is controlled by two ministries, with administrative control provided by the Ministry of Home Affairs and operational control under the Ministry of Defence. SFF, that is Special Frontier Force. The Special Frontier Force is an airborne paramilitary force that is not part of the Indian Army but it comes under the operational control of the Indian Army. Their primary role is to defend against the China's People's Liberation Army ground force and to conduct intelligence gathering and commando operations along the Chinese border. The SFF has also fought in many external warfares for India, including the Kargil War and the Bangladesh Liberation War. The SFF has been used by the Indian government and R&AW in various covert and overt operations. Indian Coast Guard. Indian Coast Guard is responsible for protecting India's maritime interests and enforcing maritime law. The ICG operates under the Ministry of Defense and works closely with the Indian Navy, the Department of Fisheries, the Department of Revenue, as well as the central and state police forces. It is a multi-mission organization that conducts various operations at sea throughout the year. Despite being relatively smaller in size, it is capable of performing various tasks on both the surface and the air. National Security Guards, NSG, more famously known as Black Cats, whose valor from 26/11 Mumbai attack is known worldwide. They neutralized all terrorists inside the hotel and defended civilians. Indian Army SS Special Action Group of National Security Guards. इससे पहले कि हम आगे बढ़े, मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि अगर आपका लक्ष्य है एनडीए एग्जामिनेशन को सेल्फ स्टडी के साथ क्लियर करने का, तो मैं आपको मिशन एनडीए बुक हाईली रिकमेंड करूंगा, जिसे प्रिपेयर करके आप आसानी से एनडीए एग्जाम क्लियर करने की पॉसिबिलिटी बढ़ा सकेंगे। इसके साथ ही 5000 प्लस मोस्ट एक्सपेक्टेड एमसीक्यू से आप 10 to 15 क्वेश्चंस अपने एग्जाम में एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं। Available on Amazon and Flipkart. Next comes the Central Armed Police Forces. These are completely governed by Ministry of Home Affairs with no interference from military whatsoever. Now before we go into each of the 5 forces within CAPF, it is important to note that 3 of these forces are known as Border Guarding Force and they primarily focus on border security during peacetime. BSF, that is Border Security Force, guards the Indo-Pakistan and Indo-Bangladesh borders. ITBP, that is Indo-Tibetan Border Police, responsible for securing the Indo-China border during peacetime. SSB, that is Sashastra Seema Bal, guards the Indo-Nepal and Indo-Bhutan borders during peacetime. Apart from border guarding forces, CRPF, that is Central Reserve Police Force, primary role is to assist state governments and union territories in maintaining law and order and combating insurgency. The CRPF also has a large role in India's general elections. They protect polling stations and ensure a peaceful democratic process. The CRPF's broad duties include crowd control, riot control, counter-militancy and insurgency operations, dealing with left-wing extremism, overall coordination of large-scale security arrangements, especially for elections in disturbed areas, fighting enemy in the event of war. The CRPF also carries out operations in situations of crisis such as terrorist attacks, counter-terrorism operations, and rescuing citizens. They are also deployed in UN missions. And at last, CISF, that is Central Industrial Security Force. The CISF is responsible for providing security to critical infrastructure and industrial establishment in India. Their primary role is to prevent unauthorized access, theft, and sabotage. They are seen at airports, metros, and other infrastructure and industrial establishments. Next comes a small protection unit called Special Protection Group. They are formed for the protection of Prime Minister and their family members. It is similar to the Secret Service of USA. Then comes State Police Forces that are protecting interests of states and to maintain law and order. Every state has its own police force and they fall under state government. Similar to FBI, CIA, India too has intelligence agencies like IB, CBI, R&AW. The Research and Analysis Wing, R&AW, is India's foreign intelligence agency. Its headquarters are located in Delhi and it operates under the aegis of the Prime Minister's office. And there you have it, a comprehensive overview of the various type of forces in India. If you found this video informative, please like and share it with your friends. Jai Hind.